Good evening, everyone. Welcome to HearthCenter. I am Donde, and I am excited to be here tonight, and I am happy to have a fantastic guest this evening. With us is Ridiculous Hat, as in his role of Commissioner of THL, he has decided to join us on this great evening of Hall of Fame activities. How are you doing tonight, Hat?
I'm pretty good, Donde. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm excited. This is going to be a fun episode. It's always fun to have you here. Icon is here with us as he is normally down there in the bottom left of your screen. Icon, welcome to the show.
What's up, Donde? Good to be here, bro.
Good to have you. And Lotus, he is here as always. He is not. He does not have his own little screen tonight, but he's here. I promise you. Lotus, how are you?
I'm doing well. Can't complain.
Good, good. Well, everyone is here. You guys know the deal. What we are going to do tonight is we're going to recap the Pro Series Week 5 action. We're going to talk about Legacy and Hero player power rankings, which are updated from last week. And of course, the main event tonight will be the Hall of Fame induction. We have a few to talk about this evening, so that should be fun. And matches of the week, those are our stream matches as we normally like to do. So let's get started. Let's talk about Pro Week 5. Going to go ahead and bring that up on the screen here in just a moment. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, how about this? I forgot about this. Thanks to our good friends over at the THL Power Podcast, we have the power rankings first. Thank you, Matt at Arms and Dano, as always, doing great work. You can hear their podcasts wherever podcasts are downloaded, and also on the front page of our website. That is teamhearthlegends.com. But as you can see, we have 3 teams that are legendary right now. That's FTL, Taste the Rainbow, and the Beard Boys. Not really shocking, I suppose, in any real way there, except Taste the Rainbow got a little flack in the Discord today. A lot of people saying they're not going to make the playoffs. Is that something that you agree with, Hat?
So while I'm bringing up I think I'm going to have 4 pages of stats here. Taste the Rainbow, they have a 55% game win rate, 60% match win rate. They haven't played against the strongest team so far, but I don't really see any justification for a 4-1 team halfway through the season being told they're not going to make it. I'd be really curious to hear what the logic is there.
Yeah, a couple people had kind of intimated what you said there, that they haven't played the strongest teams yet, are naturally kind of due for a regression. FTL, obviously at the top of the list here. I think you guys have not played them yet, Icon, is that right?
We have not yet. I believe that we play them after this week. We play Top Headed Titans this week and possibly Taste the Rainbow the week after that, I think.
There you go. So that's going to be a big matchup for them. And I think that's a good barometer of where they're actually going to be at as a team. A big test for them. And Lotus, how much have you been following along here with the Pro Series?
Even if I'm not playing pro, I'm still watching. I think Taste the Rainbow is still a contender team. They're doing very well. Unmarked is still 5-0. So he's one of the very few players who are still 5-0.
That's across
We're
all
talking
series.
we're talking about your mum, Ked, right?
Yeah, your mum, Ked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is our mum whose name is Ked, apparently.
Our mum, Ked.
I do not know how to read this. Sure.
Yeah, that's a toughie. That's a toughie.
I made that same mistake many times, which is why I want to make sure we share it with everyone. In case anyone is ever wondering in the future, this player is talking about your mom, Ked.
So, yeah, but the other players, like Brick is still doing well. I can't say that they're not going to make it. I think they can, and I think they're still a good team.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're a contender. Whether or not they make it, it'll certainly be close. And the next 3 teams in the Epic group there, Bad to the Bone, Aeon, and the Unknown, are all certainly in the hunt as well. So I think that's those 6 are kind of universally thought of as the likely playoff contenders here as we reach the second half of this. Actually, we're not even in the second half of the season. Still, 6 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago?
Long season, man.
Yeah, 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So still plenty of time left to change your luck if you're any of the teams that are on that bottom half of the sheet. So that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at what actually did happen last week in Pro. So we have the 6 games, of course. We'll start off with the Beard Boys versus Defias Brotherhood. The Beard Boys are the current first place team. Defias Brotherhood was the last place team, and as you can see, This score did not go like it was supposed to, with Defias taking their first win of the season and handing Beard Boys their first loss of the season, 17-11. So big shout out to Defias for getting on the board there. Cypher 0 with a win over Myanodon. Epical Noise did fall to Honest Abe. Lesimos dropped the game to Comp 2-3. Hockey, in a bit of a shocker, lost to Ekoname, and the Buzosaurus lost to Izanami, both of whom got their first wins of the season. So Defias finally coming together as a team there and really, really putting a great showing. Honestly, they had the most points of any team this week, and they did it against the hardest team statistically in Pro. So very, very impressive there. I'd like to see if maybe they can build on that momentum. Might not be enough to get them back to the playoffs, but at least get them into the middle of the pack there. So for the next game here, Icon, I'll kick it over to you.
Izanami, I just want to say Izanami is a god. All hail the pit crocolisk. Going on from there, so FTL played the Unknown this week. It was an incredibly close game. Most series went 3-2, 2-3 back and forth. Ended up in a 15 victory by the Unknown, beating FTL by 1 point. And overall, a super competitive match. I think the Unknown is a very, very strong team who can play well against any team within the series. And so Desharmo and Solo Jazz both winning 3-2 over FTL's top 2, and Catman winning 3-2 over Itachi sealed that.
Absolutely. Lotus, take us through Taste the Rainbow versus Bad to the Bone.
So this was another super tight match. I mean, whenever you see something where the winner was out at 15 or something like that, you know it's a tight match. 15-13, super, super strong. 1 game difference was probably going to be enough if a team won instead of losing, just to flip the whole result. We had your Mumcat, or however you say it, beat Eggawaffle 3-1. Eggawaffle doing amazing on ladder, and in THL, his record is really strong so far. And yeah, I think there's an interesting thing, and there's definitely something to be said about Hunter. I'll save that for later. But Avi beat Inzi 3-2. Another probably great match. Both players doing a pretty good job in THL. Brick beat Pasca 3-2. We had Skittles lose to Manny Skull 2-3, and Quirky Turtle 1-3 against A2 Battleship. I think my main note here is Skittles is having a bit of a down streak. I think he can turn this around really easily, and I've said before how much I think he's a good player. So I'll just keep it at that.
All right, and Hat, why don't you talk to us about our Aeon win over Taplast?
So I will say that this match in particular, a lot of people predicted it would be very, very close and go to Taplast and the Nailbiter. They were right about the Nailbiter part, but they weren't quite right about who would win because Aeon squeaked it out thanks to last-minute substitute and all-star former HearthCenter member Jammies. Big props to Jammies for subbing in. And it went so well that a former Taplast member, Typhoon, actually joined Aeon permanently this week. So keep that in mind. Jammies, you're a pro, and I also have insider information. Jammies was playing this match with Salsa Verde on his fingers, which I think definitely gave him the edge to win. Now, on the other hand, I am no longer undefeated because I played against this player. Y'all may have heard of him. His name is Seamacomp. Have any of you heard of Seamacomp?
I've heard he goes again a lot.
I think he plays Open Cups or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I think he played 99 Open Cups for a single tournament to Las Vegas, and there have been 4 more Master Tours since then. So, lost to CMAC. He played very well. But then Heat Shock fell to Jammies. Nerdstrom fell to Donde in a very close match, 2-3, which puts Nerdstrom at 2-3 and Donde at 3-2, a coin flip away from that being reversed. Nice win, Donde. And Valdus actually took the sweep in the 4 seed over Coles, but 2-star Mako got a real big win in the sweep over Bill Snyder in the 5. Really close match, could have gone either way, and Taplast, great opponents as always.
Absolutely. Hate to see Coles washed up, but sometimes you just don't have it anymore. How about Top Hatted Titans?
Do you hate it? Do you hate saying that?
Oh, I love it so much. God, what do you think about this next game here?
So another very competitive game between Top Hatted Titans versus the other guys. Top Hatted Titans top 3 actually taking it, and very satisfying kind of symmetrical layout from the top-headed Titans sort of records up here. We see Icer, Starlax, and Lil Hearthy are all having very respectable seasons. Icer with a 3-2 over Tony Montana, Starlax with a 3-1 over Dirty Mike, and Lil Hearthy with a sweep over JR Juggerlaw. Silver and Top Hat having a bit of a rougher season, but Silver getting some points on the board to push top-headed Titans over to a 14-11 score. Top-headed Titans seeming to be like a very respectable sort of middle-of-the-pack team. The other guys struggling a little bit.
And finally, we had the Menagerie versus Propane Gang, a team that you used to be a member of. Hat, what did you think about this one here?
Well, okay. Before I say anything, I want to read the schedule that Propane Gang has had this season. Week 1, Taste the Rainbow. Week 2, the Beard Boys. Week 3, Bad to the Bone. Week 4, Aeon. And Week 5, the Menagerie. Very, very difficult schedule. I believe the highest AOS in the series. So they have not had an easy go of it, but the Menagerie, which I think is also competing for that middle of the pack title, they are 2-3 overall. They were able to bring Propane Gang to 0-5. It was very close, 13-10. Solid sweep win for the Menagerie. In both the 1 and the 5, Based Ink got it over Silent Red, and Triss got it over Darkside, who unfortunately has now lost 13 pro matches in a row. And if he's able to turn it around, then I think there's hope for the team. But unfortunately, Darkside has not really been able to find his footing in pro for multiple seasons now. There are a couple bright spots here. Craig of Canada moving to 3-2 in the 2 seed with a win over Dexter. And it's me, Mike V, in the 4 seed. I know Mike has been very active with basically whatever tournament he can find, including and not limited to Open Cups, and is a steal for the 4 with a 3-1 win over Mata, with 9 Eyebrows rounding out the match with a 3-2 win in the 3 over the Town Drunk. Now, I know that there are 2 new players joining the Menagerie this week. It looks like Dexter stepped out and Triss, and the Menagerie has added Smork and Dabs, who I don't know much about personally, but my understanding is that they are strong players, and Smork has already completed a sweep in the 5 seed this week over Izanami. So there may be hope for the Menagerie and upside there. And if Propane Gang can't figure out the 5 seed situation, if Darkside can't start getting those wins, it's really going to be tough for them to compete this season.
Darkside, you're a very, very skilled player, and I love you very much. That is all. Thank you.
Well, we will say some nice things about Darkside coming up. No spoilers, of course, but he is struggling in pro, but he is doing well elsewhere. And that brings us to our next topic, the Legacy Player Power Rankings. And as we mentioned, before, we're not going to go ahead and spend a massive amount of time on these every week. Some weeks they will be a little bit more in depth than others, but we did talk about them quite a bit last week. So we're just going to kind of run through the list, give our quick opinions on everything, and slide on into our main event tonight, which is the Hall of Fame inductions. So without further ado, your Legacy honorable mentions. 4 new players to the top 15: F. Srirachi, Itachi, LotusKnight, and Dragon Rider. So Lotus, congratulations to you, sir. All 4 of those players were not ranked last week. Desharmo was ranked in the top 10. He fell 10 spots all the way into the honorable mention. So he did not drop out of the top 15 entirely, but he did get swept. So that was a bit of a hit to his stats. Any opinions on these first 5? LotusKnight, I'll start with you. You're in it. How do you feel?
I feel happy. I think if you can count, can I change my name to LotusKnight to add the game the 2 subbed for me?
So you want to combine stats?
Because he did win. I think he won 3-0 or 3-1, so that would push me a bit higher. I think I'm happy that Ducharme's in my team, and I think our team is doing very well. I'm pretty proud of ourselves, even if we didn't win this week. And all of these names pretty much are all classic THL players who've been around for quite a few seasons and who are just showing up every so often.
Yeah, none of these are surprising names on this list here. F. Srirachi, 4-0, but surprising that he's not in the top 10. That just speaks, I think, to the strength of the top 10 here. Icon, any thoughts before we move into the top 10?
All these players seem really good. I'm glad that Itachi and Dragon Rider and LotusKnight are getting notice. Srirachi was also very good a couple of seasons ago, and he seems to be continuing that. It's very consistent in him.
Definitely. Hat, how about you?
Glad to see Dragon Rider return to THL. I know she took a couple of seasons off, but glad to have her back. Not surprised she's doing well. And if you combined F. Srirachi and Itachi, you'd have F. Sitachi. I just wanted to say that.
Without a doubt, the best thing I've ever heard in the last 10 minutes. And I've heard a lot of good stuff.
No.
No. Well, here's our top 10. We can see that Coles did not play last week, but he sticks just barely in the top spot. Liquid Ox slides on up 2 spots just behind him at number 2. Sanguine is a big jumper this week from 8 to 3. Lemons comes from out of nowhere, undefeated with a 9-1 game score, and is now in 4th. Darkside is the aforementioned struggling in pro, but he is undefeated in legacy. He's number 5, Ron Mexico at number 6, and Bill Snyder at number 7. Both of them jumped up 3 spots. Honest Zabe was inactive and dropped just 1 spot. Actually, no, he was not inactive. He won and dropped just 1 spot. Just a couple good records ahead of him there. Disco unfortunately fell for the first time this season, which drops him down 7 slots to 9. And Robson was inactive. He dropped 5 slots to number 10. So not a ton of movement. All but one of these players were in the top 10 last week, so not too surprising there. And only 2 players actually suffered a loss. Hat, I'll start with you this time. Anything jump out at you here?
Can you walk me through why Coles is over Liquid Ox?
It's the strength of the wins on his schedule.
Okay.
That's basically it.
I will believe you, but I mean, it doesn't matter. Both players have had absolutely spectacular seasons. Really happy to see them both up here and not surprised at all. Ox has lost 1 game the entire season. 1 game, which is bonkers.
Yeah.
Half as many as Coles at 2, of course.
Yes. Well, that's why I'm interested in digging into your manually created spreadsheets as to why Coles landed further above. But both players, these deserve the top 2 slots. And I would consider them almost tied for what's going on here. But also not really surprised by a ton of these players. I'm really happy to see Darkside picking up the wins over here. And Bill Snyder as well, struggling in pro, but absolutely a beast in legacy. Anna Zabe is making a run at the crossover player with his really dominant performance over in pro and as well in legacy. Actually, I guess he's not in hero. Zabe, you got to get a hero team. And I want to point out Lemons on Not YJ's, brand new to THL, and 9-1. That's very impressive.
Yeah, Not YJ's great story. Something that I definitely want to hit on later. We will talk about that when we get to the matches of the week. Lotus, any immediate thoughts here? Anything jump out to you? Anything you want to talk about?
As usual, I want to congratulate Better Donde for being in first. It's not easy.
That's great. Holy moly.
Also, I do think, honestly, Liquid Ox is having such an insane season. I kind of expected him to be in first. I'm looking forward to face Coles next week. That should be a hot match.
If Coles was on Twitter, I would try to get hashtag Better Donde trending, but he's not, so it kind of would be useless.
More Coles in his Twitter hashtag.
Poor Coles and his not using social media. He's only like a step below me.
Yep. Hit Coles at Just a Puppy.
Just a puppy. Yes, at Just a Puppy. I love it. Bringing back the inside jokes. Icon, how about you before we talk about Hero here?
We see a lot of very consistent people on here. We see Bill Snyder, what's the word for it? Taking the PR system for every possible gain to be made there. We see Liquid Ox actually might move down after this because insider info says that he actually got swept by Snake. So that should have been interesting. We were gonna try to have an FTL cast of that where they just hang out in voice and Rabobson and I cast, but Rabobson's internet wasn't working, so we couldn't end up doing it. But that's gonna that might knock my boy Ox down a couple. He's been having an insane season though. Coles is a very 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 consistent performer. Shout out to Sanguine. I love her. She's a really awesome player, and she's beat some like really serious people this season. All these people are doing really well. I'm just really happy for all of them.
Yeah, there's no one on this list that I would be, thrilled to see on my schedule. I played Disco as well, and I am, he is my one loss.
I don't know.
Right
I take
now,
Darkside, but other than that,
I don't know, man. Something about closed list for him. He loves these metas where Hunter's relevant. He just brings Hunter and he just crushes on you. So it is what it is. But
True.
Yeah. He's a good player. I think he gets a lot of flack, but especially with the pro results. But he's been consistent in legacy at that 4 seed slot. So yeah, Good for you guys. Congratulations for being on the top 10 this week. And of course, that brings us to the hero power rankings. We will do the same here. We will not delay. Let's jump right into the honorable mentions. A little bit of variance here compared to what we saw in Legacy. Two players who are brand new, Electabuzz and Icicles. Enthrallment was in just at the top part of the honorable mentions last week. He's still there, just slid down a little bit, 3 slots. Ron Mexico fell 7 slots into the honorable mentions, and Disco showed up now again in honorable mentions here in both series, or he's actually in top 10 in Legacy, honorable mentions in Hero, jumping onto the top. He's at 11th effectively, just outside the top 10 at 4-1 right now. So, Lotus, what do you think here on these 5 players?
Again, I think it's really interesting how both series are having this rise in players that have been in THL for a while. Disco is a really good player. He's climbing and just overall doing very well. I think Ron Mexico is another one who had like the craziest season last time.
He ain't doing too badly this time either.
No, definitely not. So I think I expect to see more of them. I think they'll just grow. I faced Icicles or Icicles, however he wants to be called. And
week, yeah.
Seems like a very solid player as well.
All right, Icon, what do you think? We're seeing a lot of the same names here. We got Disco with some cross series performance. We got the perennial Ron Mexico, just always guaranteed to do well in multiple series. Pretty cool that these players that sort of find Hearthstone success in one area can translate that into other ones. I think that speaks a lot to how good some of these people are.
Yeah, it turns out even though you're playing a different format, it is still Hearthstone, and if you're good at Hearthstone, you'll be good at whatever format you decide to play. So I agree. Good job by these guys here, continuing to be impressive. Hat, before we move on to the top 10, anything you want to say?
So I'm looking pretty closely. I don't think too many of these players are actually all that experienced with THL. Disco has under 20 lifetime matches. Same with Icicles. Enthrallment has 6. And Electabuzz, I believe, also joined last season. Let's see here.
Yes, Electabuzz has only played Hero.
A lot of them from No
13. So
a lot from MGH.
These are players that have kind of found their footing pretty quickly and are doing very well. But they definitely figured out what makes Hero tick. And that's interesting because Hero was very dense this season. A lot of high-quality teams, a lot of high-quality players, and mostly players with experience beforehand, whereas these players are kind of coming into a closed deck list format that they may not have been familiar with and are still doing well. So it's nice to see those names up there.
Definitely, and I know I had seen Enthrallment in Coin Concede, of course, played in the Listener Series, the last one that I played in, so I remember that he had quite a good record in that last season, so not too surprised just from my limited experience, seeing him in competitive play. Electabuzz did well last season, first season hero, so I'm not surprised there either, and of course Disco is doing well in both series, so good group of 5 here, just outside the top 10, so why don't we move into the top 10? And this is an impressive list here. We start with Quaz, the only player to not be ranked last week, and jump into the top 10, thanks in part to a sweep over Sage, who dropped to 9. So Sage fell 5 spots there as he lost his winless record. Catman jumps out of the honorable mentions and into the top 10 at number 8. Agent PWE is 4-1, suffered the first loss of their season, just a slight fall from 3 to 7. Avi, he's just good at Hearthstone. 7 spot jump, he's 4-1. Hockey also lost his undefeated record, so he's going to drop 4 spots out of the top spot to number 5, and basically just swapped with our number 1 player. Lil Hearthy, another win. Another 4 spots jumped up to number 4. The Big Ted fell slightly down, just 1 spot to number 3. Trippy Toad with a huge jump from 9 to 2. And Blue Spartan, the only remaining undefeated player in Hero at 5-0, 15-5. So an impressive run for him. Hat, I'll start with you. What do you think about the top 10?
How about that Blue Spartan? How about that?
5-0 is tough.
5-0. 5-0, 15-5. All the other undefeated players lost last week. Big Ted still crushing it this season, doing very well. Trippy Toad, I think, brand new this season.
Yeah, he's brand new on my team.
He's
on your team.
Yeah, he's a DS guy.
That's pretty crazy. And that's he's responsible for What is this?
I'm
Is
sorry,
this
not VS, Comp HS. Comp HS. He's a Comp HS mod.
okay? And he's responsible for more than a third of Nozdormu's wins for the season. So
We don't
that says a
talk about
lot
it.
about
Let's not
both
talk
him
about it.
and everyone else on the team. Yeah, eat it. Love you, Donde.
I mean,
So-
I can't say enough nice things about Trippy Toad. He does great prep. He has great thoughts on lineups, decks. There's no surprise to me why he's doing so well. He's out there putting in work for sure.
Yeah, but this list, the last thing I'm going to say, this list indicates what Hero looks like this season. The average player quality here is really high, but the game scores are not quite as lopsided as they were in Legacy because
Correct.
it's a very dense field, very closely situated. The only people playing this format are the people that feel like they understand it really well. And with 10 teams, you're not going to have a lot of fat to trim. So, been really interesting to watch what happens in Hero this season. And also, yet somehow, above all this, Dad Legend is ridiculous. They're a crazy good team.
Oh, they always seem to be. Icon, what are your thoughts here?
Hat saying that everybody understands LHS has clearly not met my captaining skills. And Itachi, the one-man carry system. But Blue Spartan is finding a lot of success right now. Definitely like a breakout story there. Also, I'm happy for Quaz, man. Quaz used to be a bit of a meme, and he's popping off, man. He seems like he's got a really good system going on in Cult, and I'm really glad for him because it seems like it's benefiting him a lot, and that he's got a great record to go with that. So. Super happy there. A lot of nice rookies that we got going on right here. We got some Lil Hearthy, we got Trippy Toad, we got Agent PWE. Once again with that no pros here theme throughout all these series. So I don't know, just a lot of very dedicated people within this list.
Absolutely. Lotus?
I'll just add on a comment that I think Had made earlier about the fact that Hero is looking more
Did we lose Lotus there?
Whoa. Okay.
Hey, am I there? Hello?
You're there.
You
You're
are
back
now.
now.
You are now. You're good.
Okay. I think there's something to be said about Hero in moments right now where I don't think the meta polarity is really high. And so you have players more concentrated in Hero versus players tend to shine more in Hero when the polarity is higher. I could be wrong, but I feel like this is happening quite a bit. And you have fairly high rolly decks to add to it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And especially in a format like Last Hero Standing, where you don't have to win with every deck, you can easily sweep out if you just
Yes.
happen to get a couple good draws in a row, win one unfavored, and then there you go, you're off to the races. But on the flip side of that, there are a lot of 3-2s that are going on in there, so it's hard to feel happy entirely when you lose 3-2, but at least you got 2 points for your team. So a lot of players who are in like the 2-win range or even in the 1-win range have pretty good spreads of match scores right now because they're not getting swept a lot. You're seeing like a lot of 7, 8, 9, 10 game win players that have like 1 or 2 series wins, which is kind of unfortunate, but it does happen.
I will also say, if you're curious about Dad Legend, or if anybody wants to know more about Dad Legend, at some point in the coming weeks, I've done a very long-form interview with Yellow Dart, and we'll be publishing, and hopefully on the THL site, an article called "Of Fathers and Four Seeds: The Dad Legend Story," and we're gonna go into Yellow Dart actually made for me some really cool statistics and talked about his team's sort of journey and his philosophy on stuff, and so we're gonna be talking in depth about that that whole team and the stuff behind them. So at some point, whenever I finish the final touches on that, that should be going up on the website. Yeah.
But hey, more content's always great content, so we love to hear that. I'm looking forward to that for sure. We've definitely been missing a lot of the deeper, interview related blog posts on teams in the last few seasons. So,
which shout out to Basestink, man. She's putting out a lot of written content in terms of pro, and it's really cool to see people revamping that once again.
Without a doubt.
Props to Basestink and the Big Ted for his Hero article as well.
Yes, Base.
Oh yeah, that happens. Yeah, that is a thing for sure.
What's with this thing where we have content on our website at teamhearthlegends.com and you can go and read it whenever you like? That's
I don't know.
Cool.
It's kind of the reason I got into content in the first place. Honestly, I started doing player rankings as a blog feature, and that back then it was something was on the blog almost every day. It felt like, or at least once or twice a week, and we just kind of fell out of it. But this season has been great. Been really enjoying all the content that people have been bringing forward. It's not quite as much as it was back in the day, but it's a heck of a lot more than it used to be. So a lot of fun. So the moment you've all been waiting for, and the reason that not the reason we're all here. We're all here every week, but tonight we are here because we are going to induct 2 members of THL into yes, thank you, Icon. 2 members into the THL Hall of Fame. And now, Hat, you have been around THL a lot longer than I have. I'll let you talk about, like what type of things are we looking for when we're inducting people into the Hall of Fame, and just in general, like what does it mean to you as well, not only the commissioner of THL but a longtime member of THL?
So the Hall of Fame, this is something we've been around. The first season of THL, it wasn't THL season 1. It was called back then. Then Ragnaros, then Legacy. It was THL season Alpha. There was Alpha, Beta, and Kappa before season 1. We've had 17 seasons of THL, and it's about 3 seasons per year or so. We're going back to, I think it was the Grand Tournament era, or maybe like Whispers. THL's been around for a while, and it's really built kind of a legacy of its own. And so if you've been around for a while, you might recognize the name Cassidy14, and he was one of the oldest board members that I can remember back in season Beta, I think, and love the idea of a Hall of Fame. So put it together, still active in there to this day. The idea of the Hall of Fame is you are a player, a captain, or a contributor that has made some kind of contribution to THL, either through excellence in performance or excellence in what you've given to THL, in many cases both, that go above and beyond what an average person has. It's a person that we want to stand as an example of what THL is about, what players can strive to be like, and players and coaches and contributors that without them, we would not be where we are today.
Yes, I completely agree. It's important to recognize the members, not only as players but people who do contribute to THL as a whole, just because it's what makes our community so special. I think just the fact that everyone is willing to pitch in for nothing at all. Just say, like, I want to provide Icon. I want to provide a blog post. I want to provide stream content. Like, that type of stuff is great. It goes beyond just being great players. It just makes our community even more engaged and fun than it already is. So, Sage, you did not miss the Hall of Fame induction. We are about to start it right now. Your timing is great. So let's make our first induction, guys. How about this?
Yep.
Our first Hall of Fame induction of 2020 is a player. It's a legacy player, and it is Blue Sombrero. Congratulations, Blue Sombrero. I bet he's not watching tonight, because I don't think he does watch any of the streams. But he's been fantastic, and a name that, from what I could tell, has been kicked around for a little bit in terms of conversation regarding whether or not he's just over that hump. And I think he definitely is deserving of the honor of being in the Hall of Fame. We had a couple people write in on his behalf. Icon, I know you know Blue pretty well, and I would like for you to. We're actually, we're going to break a rule here. We're going to read directly. We usually don't read off a script, but I think the inductions are important enough here that we should read word for word. So go ahead, Icon, take it away.
All right, for sure. So here, let me just pull up the awesome things that people have said about Blue. There. Oh, it's pinned. I'm an idiot. There it
sure is, man.
Oh, there, I found it. Okay, wonderful. All right. So we have 2. Do you want me to just read both?
Yeah, and
Okay,
of
cool.
course, who contributed them? Let everyone know.
Yeah, absolutely. So these 2 the first nomination was done by Sage, a longtime captain in THL, and somebody who definitely knows Blue Sombrero really well. And he said the following: Blue Sombrero is one of the most consistent preppers I've ever had the pleasure of playing with. I first met Blue in the original Hearthstone Academy squad during Season 5. Me, myself, and I invited him into the Discord, and Blue immediately dubbed himself head coach. He honestly just kind of drove everyone crazy back then, but when we were struggling in Season 6, I brought him on the team to relieve a burned out JB. Blue Sombrero then proceeded to carry HSA to the playoffs in Season 6 with his prep work and great play, and we turned that momentum into a championship. Sporting a 67.31% win rate over 7 seasons and a championship, Blue Sombrero has earned his place in the Hall of Fame. The bar has been set high, and he passed it with flying colors. It has been an honor to play with you, Blue. You're my boy, Blue. And then we also had a nomination for Blue Sombrero by MMI, otherwise known as Me, Myself, and I. I love him.
Hall of
And he
Famer
said the
MMI.
following, and he said that, yeah, also Hall of Famer MMI, and he said the following about Blue. I am so happy I introduced Blue Sombrero to Hearthstone and to THL. Since I met him in 2nd grade, Blue has brought his humor, his competitive drive, and his immense skill to every game he touches. First it was chess, then League of Legends, then Hearthstone. I'm convinced that he cannot let himself be anything but proficient at what he does. THL has been a place that these aspects of Blue Sombrero could shine. He's a brilliant player and a great friend. I'm glad to have been his teammate. It's a unique kind of relationship to have with someone. Being a year removed from Hearthstone at THL in this point, I can see how special my time with him in the league was. Competing against and alongside friends is something awesome that not many people get to do. This community should strive to approach our sport and our relationships with both as much serious and as much wit as Blue Sombrero has. He's something to behold in and out of the game.
Thank you.
That was what MMI's idea.
Yep, thank you both, MMI and Sage, for writing in about Blue, and everybody who contributes to Hall of Fame as well. Icon, like you said, you've been very close with Blue over the last few seasons. Is there anything you'd wish to add in regards to him as a player, or just anything you want to say?
I think they've both said it pretty well, but just he's beyond an awesome captain and an awesome player, and I've gotten the pleasure of like talking to him in depth a couple of times about like how he goes about like captaining and like his sort of work ethic and stuff, and I just think he's a really awesome person and definitely a great fit for this. So couldn't be happier for him. Love you, bro. And also, yeah, I checked his Snapchat. I think he's out right now.
Right, Lotus. Anything you want to say to Blue or on behalf of Blue in regards to his Hall of Fame induction?
I think this is super deserved. I played for Blue one season, and he was a great captain, super nice guy. I want to thank him for motivating us and for keeping our team through a fairly fun season.
All right. Hat, what would you like to say?
So he's 35-17 as a player, 67% win rate, has a championship trophy under his belt. He is 56-43 as a captain, which is a 56% win rate. Very hard to get as a captain, as the captain of the Wet Boys primarily. Just those two teams. And both squads did very well, including the Season 13 squad, 62% overall win rate. Very impressive as a captain, very impressive as a player, and well-deserved. Really glad to have another hat in the THL Hall of Fame.
Yes, a bit of a fun side plot point there that we're only going to nominate people who have hats in their name. So if you want to get in the Hall of Fame, you got to put a hat in your name in some capacity. So we did say that there's more than one inductee tonight. So congratulations to Blue, but we do have another. And this one actually means a lot to me. I was actually the person to nominate him, so I am going to just go ahead and read what I said because that's it says everything that I really want to say about this person. You all know him. This isn't going to be really shocking, I suppose, but it's Saku. He's a contributor in really every form of content that we have, and I couldn't be. I'm gonna stop. I'm just gonna read what I gotta say because this is how I feel. So. Saku's been in THL for 6+ seasons as a player, both Legacy and Hero. Everyone knows Saku. He's the friendliest player you'll ever meet, never fails to praise his opponent in both victory and defeat. He's consistently represented the ideal of what a player should be in this community from a social standpoint, and I'm honored to be able to say that I've been his teammate multiple times now. In regards to content, Saku has worked tirelessly and with less recognition than most. He primarily stream operates, which is one of the most thankless jobs in THL. Many in the community will never realize the amount of hard work he puts in each and every week. Saku is stream op for our talk shows, Tavern Talk, occasional special streams such as Team Reveals and All-Stars. He's stream op for matches. He's even casted while opting for some of those matches. He can and more importantly does do it all for THL. Beyond what you see on tape, Saku has been instrumental in assisting both myself and other show producers in finding players to be on stream for our matches, which is far tougher and more time consuming than it appears. Anyone who's done this for even a single season knows that it can be very difficult to nail down matches with consistency. Saku has also created several of our on-stream assets such as backgrounds, icons, and layouts, including the background you're looking at right now. He has also been the main driving force behind our Stream Op Bootcamp Discord, to which we invite people as needed to teach them how to stream op properly. When the show must go on, there's no one in THL that THL trusts more than Saku. Although I direct content, Saku is the glue that holds everything together. If I'm conducting the symphony, he's running around in the sound booth hitting all the switches and knobs to make sure I and everyone else in content looks good. We as producers owe more to him than anyone else, and for that, I'm happy to welcome Saku to the THL Hall of Fame for content. I've got nothing else to add. He knows I love him. I know you guys. I gotta talk about Saku.
We all love him, bro.
We all
Straight
do.
up.
We all do. He's such a great dude, and he really deserves this. And I'm so happy for him. Icon, anything you want to say about Saku or to Saku?
Saga, you are just the kindest dude, and you put this league on your, sorry, not a league, sort of a series time on your back time and time again, and you just do an incredible amount of work, man. And I think we're all really glad that you're here, man.
Absolutely. Lotus?
Yeah, I actually had Saku do an OP training for me 2 weeks ago, and he was so attentive, so cautious. He's just been a really nice guy. Overall, it's been a blast learning from him, and yeah, I'm super thankful for what he's done. He's made OPing really easy.
His patience is legendary. Like, he will take anybody at any knowledge level, and he will guide you through what you need. I'm not even slightly ashamed to say I've learned a bunch of stuff from him. Even I guess I learn stuff all the time, as Hat can attest before the show. But it's he's just such a consistent, and like, he's got no quit in him. Like, I expect someone like to get burned out when they put in the effort that he does, and time again he just pops up and says, yeah, I'll take care of that, I'll do this. And it's like, man, just like take a break if you need it. But he's just so much drive, and I'm so happy to have him on the team. Hat, I'll let you take it away to finish out here.
So Saku, obviously, anyone that has ever interacted with him knows that he is nice to the point where it's hard to understand what's happening, because it's a level of nice that is beyond what you'll usually experience with interacting with another human being, not just in a competitive environment, just in the world. He is that level of nice. His GGs after his match are legendary. In the THL match, I think when I saw him and Jim Philos play against each other, I had no idea who won because they were both being so nice to each other. But Saku, we just sent him to the pod people. He subbed in for us and actually stayed on. And just the sweetest dude, and yet one of the hardest workers I can see out there. Whenever there's anything content related, I mean, I don't have to worry about content. I don't know anything about how the content department runs because Donde and Saku just do it. And there have been a bunch of times I've gone to you, Donde, where you've been like, did you ask Saku? And I asked Saku, and he's like, we'll take care of it. And then you do. And it works out. So totally deserves it. Really fantastic guy. And I'm going to break script a little bit here because Saku actually sent in a nomination as well. And the Hall of Fame committee reviewed it, and we agreed with it. We do not have 2 inductees tonight. We have 3. Because Donde HS is joining the THL Hall of Fame as a contributor tonight.
Oh my god.
And I have a blurb here.
I had no idea.
I have a blurb here written by
adorable,
Saku that I want to read. Because, of course, Donde wrote Saku's, so we asked Saku to write Donde's. And he kept a secret because he's that great of a guy.
Oh my god, you guys are ridiculous.
So, I'm going to read this. Saku says, I first met Donde back in my second season of THL, January 2018. He had just joined Team Next Level back in SHL after being recruited by Jammies. We had some weekly team voice chat meetings, and quite a few times we stuck around and chatted, playfully joking around, but he knew when to get to business, especially when it comes to strats for Hearthstone. From that point forward, he's been a great trusted friend to me and others around the THL. The day he accepted the Director of Content and Engagement position, I knew he was going to put in his all. He helped organize the blog group, focused on acquiring volunteers for Stream Op and casters for the various THL shows, such as Tavern Talk and Last Saloon Standing, and even created his own HearthCenter show to showcase the newly formed Pro Series. He has always been open-minded to others' input and opinions. There have been some difficult moments and decisions made under his time as a board member, but through that experience, he kept his composure, kept cool under pressure, but most of all, kept his infectious sense of humor and positive way of thinking. You can certainly tell that he believes in the direction of the THL, and I believe he is key to its development in the future. Want to extend my congrats to him on receiving the Hall of Fame award this season. It is 100% deserved. Too easy.
Wow. I mean,
Aww.
I don't even know what's.
Congratulations,
you guys kept this completely secret from
Congrats,
me.
Donde.
I was in the Discord and I never even knew you guys were talking about this.
We had a group DM because we knew you could see, and so we made sure that you were unaware. And nobody else on the show knew that this was happening tonight. But I low-key was like, "Hey, Donde, can I come on HearthCenter? Can I come on because Hall of Fame is happening?"
Yeah, and
You
I
didn't
told
know
you
I had
you're
ulterior
welcome
motives.
whenever you want to come on. I was like, yeah, this is great. Let's bring Hat in. This is fantastic.
Well,
I don't even know what to say. I'm completely honored. I'm shocked. I thank you. That's all I got.
you totally deserve it. It was a unanimous inclusion, you and Saku both, and well deserved. Without the two of you, I do not know what THL content would look like right now, if it would exist at all. But we are really, really lucky to have you. And there are a lot of things I have my hand in as the commissioner. But content, like I rejoined the content hub, but nothing goes on there because you run it all through DMs. And they've been in a couple of the DMs. I never have to worry or even know what's going on because of how well you two keep it on lock, and that deserves the highest recognition, the highest honor that we have to offer. So well deserved. Thank you so much for everything that you do, and we're really appreciative of your efforts as the whatever your title is now. We don't say
Yeah, I don't really
DOCE.
know.
I don't know.
I don't really know
It's
anymore.
it's the new
Content
title
guy.
is the director of the new direction of entertainment, the DONDE. There we go.
Oh wow, that's on the fly. I appreciate the hard work there. Um,
Got you.
I mean, I will say, like, to me, none of what I do and what we do in content is a chore in any way. Like, I would stop today if I wasn't having fun doing it. It's fun interacting with everybody who writes for the blog. It's fun interacting with everybody who streams, ops, even the players who play on the streams, and nothing gets done without the cooperation of everybody. So even though you guys have done me a ridiculous honor in nominating and inducting me, I can't do any of this by myself. And I've said it before, but like, thank you to everybody who communicates with me, helps me set everything up, comes up with great ideas. Even if it's just ideas, it's phenomenal. So I don't know. I'm completely shocked right now. So yeah, thank you guys so much. It means a lot.
You deserve it, sir.
Love you, bro.
Thank you guys. Well, man, you guys know how to throw me off here. I was not prepared, and I, I guess this is not all we have tonight. We have the I'm like flustered. I'm like legitimately flustered right now. This is crazy. We have the matches of the week to discuss. Speaking of stream stuff, matches of the week are 4 matches in which just ridiculous. These are the 4 matches that we're going to be playing games from on stream this week. So let's go ahead and show you what we're talking about. I'm so unprepared. First set of games. We've got a Dude playing the Wet Woman. That's in the Legacy Gold series. So we've got actually quite a bit of classes revealed here. No games played yet, but let me see, what do we have on stream right now?
Actually, there was one played so far. Snake swept Liquid Ox.
Oh,
Yeah.
you mentioned that at the top. That's right. You mentioned that at the top. Yeah, I took the screenshot before.
Tell Snake to submit results.
No,
yeah, he's actually bad at submitting results. Yeah, I'll tell him.
But this is probably, I took the screenshot, of course, before before we went live here. So if the game got
No,
played,
I had the tab open. He didn't.
No, yeah, he like I have to make him every time, or he doesn't.
So the matches that we have set to go on stream this week are going to be Matty Ebbs versus Shiny Pants. That will be at 9 p.m. on Saturday, with yours truly. And we also have Icon and JR Juggerlaw at 8 p.m. on Friday. Looking forward to that one, guys. And
Me too, baby. Me too.
Okay. It's your first time on stream this season, Icon. So what do you think? You obviously haven't posted any classes yet. I don't want to let you give anything away, but
I can submit them right now. I already know what I just haven't done it yet.
What do you what's your impression here? What's going to happen in this series?
That I'm going to clap JR because I'm like an attention lover who's on stream, and he is letting me be on stream, and I have a really good lifetime record versus him, I think. So I don't know. I'm ready for it, bro. I am very excited. When JR offered to play on stream, I was very surprised, but I was very happy. I'm going to enjoy this quite a bit, win or lose.
Now, it is fun to play on stream, of course. So I will say, Wet Woman still undefeated right now, 3-0-1. So is that an intimidation factor for you guys at all?
No, we actually really don't care at all. And Sage swept Ox, or not Sage, sorry, Snake swept Ox.
That's
so
true.
we're like only more confident right now. We're fine. No problems.
Right. Hat, what do you think about this matchup?
So in terms of these players or the week?
Everything as a whole.
So
Yeah, crush my self-esteem, baby. Do it. Let's get it.
Okay, well, I'm leaning towards a dude because I see there are actually a lot of really interesting matchups here. I would love for Dragon Rider versus Sanguine to be on stream because those
actually
are two.
is. It actually is on Dragon Rider. So Dragon Rider has her own personal stream that she streams stuff under, and it was like a really tough decision for Sanguine because she gets a little bit nervous on stream. But we all told her that she was going to do great, and now she and Dragon Rider are going to be playing live. So you guys can check that out.
That's going to be awesome to watch.
Yeah.
5 PR point difference. Both players doing really well this season. We've got 3-1 Dragon Rider versus 4-1 Sanguine. Both were on the top 15 Dragon Rider and honorable mention, and Sanguine, I think, number 3 overall in Legacy Power Rankings. Really looking forward to seeing that. Shiny Pants versus Matty Ebbs. I've played with Shiny Pants before. Great competitor, super nice guy, very good at preparing, and I'm really curious to see how he matchups against Matty Ebbs, who has about a 40 PR advantage. Medusas versus Quirky Turtle. I think I give the edge to Medusas there, but Quirky Turtle has definitely rebounded in the past week. And Icon versus Juggerlaw. I'm really curious to see how this goes. I think this will be a 3-2 match, but I don't know who I'm banking on. I expect that Juggerlaw has been working a lot on maintaining composure. I am really looking forward to seeing how that goes.
The final boss of all composure is playing versus me on stream. I just don't think he knows that yet. I'm very excited for that.
I'm excited to see it, and I'm rooting for him to get the 3-2 victory. I think it'll be 5 games either way, but I'm rooting for JR.
I'm going to be emoting at him. It's going to be wonderful. He knows what to expect. We've already talked about
So when you right-click your opponent's portrait, you can click Squelch, and then you don't see the emotes.
Nah, I'm going to tell him that if he squelches me, he's a wimp, and so we just need to ride it out and have a battle of who tilts first. We're just going to see who throws harder. It's going to be wonderful.
At least you're taking the moral high ground.
Yes, that's wonderful. It's going to be great.
Lotus, what do you think here? What's going to happen in this series?
So Snake called me last week, called me out saying that because I said he wouldn't beat Avi. So I'm going to say he's going to beat Liquidox, even though I know the result already.
Wow, that's a really bold prediction. I don't know.
Hottest
It's a bold prediction.
Spicy.
I actually think Wet Woman are going to win this one. Sorry, Icon. I think it's going to be Dragon Rider, JR, and Matty Ebbs. And yeah, prove me wrong though. Please do. Yeah, I'm excited for this match. A lot of these players were playing on stream last week, so it was fun to watch them.
Yeah, Wet Woman was a featured team last week, and it just happens this is a great matchup. Very, very, two very close teams in the standings. It looked like a great one to feature here from the gold division. So that's what we're going to go with this week. And the second match you see on your screen there is from the red conference. That's Bye versus Not YJs. Bye will be going, I believe, into their bye week upcoming. And then Not YJs is a great story. They came out of the gate firing. Got a big win, then kind of hit a lull for a couple weeks, including a bye. And then last week, they came roaring out and got a humongous win over, I think it was Dad Legend?
No, it was our team.
No, I'm sorry, GLA. I apologize. I didn't mean to rub salt there, Lotus. That's not my intent.
That's fine. Hey, I won my match. I think Slay still lost to who I consider to be the prettiest player in THL. The funniest player, the player I like the most.
He lost to my Anadon?
No, he lost to myself.
Oh, okay.
Well, right now,
I am pretty hot. No lie, dude. Damn.
Right now, I do not believe we have any of these matches on stream at the moment. We do still have a Sunday slot available, however. So if any of them do want to play, please you know where to find me, of course. But right now it's no Glocko's at 4-1 playing Inzi, who's only 1-0. Agent PWE playing Slay, Disco playing Lemons. That's a fantastic matchup right there. And
Yes.
then Snake Fods versus Kid Eternity, Pasca versus Silver T Fox. I mean, on paper, you would expect that Bai would have the advantage here, but I think Not My Jays might have the meta kind of figured out after last week, and maybe they can use that to carry them forward here to a win this week. Hat, do you think this is going to be a second consecutive win for the Not YJs?
So this matchup, I don't really know where I'm going with this because we have a lot less data on these players, and the records are really close. No Glocko versus Inzi. Their PR is 10 apart. I don't ever want to bet against No Glocko. 4-1 so far, and an excellent player.
Yes.
Inzi, we know from outside of THL and from, I think, Inzi's in Pro Series. Good player. I would bet again on No Glocko here, but I wouldn't definitively say so. PWE versus Slay. I know PWE personally, and I played against him in other tournaments in the No Pros Here Discord. That 100 PR missing is a lie. It is straight up a lie, and it will correct itself over time. Both players are 2-2, or Agent PW is 2-3. I don't really know which way to go here. I think Slay has the advantage on paper, but I don't really want to go either way on paper because I know how good Agent PWE is here. If he prepares, then he'll be in it. The question is how much he prepares. Disco, really strong player. Lemons, I think one of the great stories of Not YJs this season. Really strong and hard to bet against. I would bet on Lemons here, but it's close. Kid Eternity, big PR dog to Snake Fods, and so I think I'd give it to Snake, even though he hasn't had the best season so far. And then Pasca's in the 5. What happened?
Yeah, how does that work?
Well, it's the lowest PR of these 5 people, and it fits. So that's what the rules say. It is legal, but it seems wrong somehow on a moral level. So I don't want to bet against Pasca. I don't want to bet against Snake Fods, and I don't want to bet against No Glocko. That means I'm giving it to Bai. But this is a nail biter and super close and could go either way, and a very exciting matchup.
I'm excited to see it for sure. And like I said, I'd love to get one of these matches on stream if possible. Icon, what do you think?
I think this is a fat 401 for No Pros Here in disguise. I think that maybe I just really rate No Pros Here, but I think that they've got a really good sort of system going on there. I think that No Glocko's doing really well. I think that Disco's doing really well, and ordinarily I would say, like, versus any other normal 3 seed, I would have to just give things to Lemons, but the fact that Disco is doing so well means that even their worst sort of matchup, they have a chance to kind of 50-50 that and squeak an extra one out. And so beyond that, I think that Bai is pretty advantaged here. I would definitely give it pretty favorably to them.
All right, Lotus, any last second thoughts?
I think I agree that Bai has the advantage. I think it's all going to boil down to No Glocko versus Inzi. That's the match that matters the most, I think. But I think this is going to be a good match nevertheless, and I think it's going to end up going to Bai.
All right. Let's talk about our hero match of the week, which we go from fake No Pros here to the real Team No Pros here versus ATL. This is a big one as well. NPH is 4-1, ATL is 3-2, and currently featuring the only undefeated player, as we mentioned earlier, in Blue Spartan. So this one is, we do actually have a couple matches on stream from this one right now. Omzi versus Agent PWE is on stream. That's at 9 p.m. on Friday following Icon and JR. And then Force of Will versus Electabuzz is tentatively scheduled for 8. Haven't heard back from Electabuzz yet, but they both seem to be into it a little earlier. Just going to get the final confirmation there. So 2 matches. That's on Saturday 8. We actually might have Disco versus Alien Santa on Sunday at some point. So it's very possible we have 3/5 of this match on stream this week. And I think it's going to be fantastic to see a lot of last hero standing. But yeah, Skittles featured again. Pasca featured again. Pasca's actually featured in all 3 series, which we talked about earlier this week. This could go really either way. Hat, what do you think?
I think that I was talking to Boozosaurus about dead cells in the chat and I wasn't paying attention.
All right,
you're talking about NPH versus ATL?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, so betting against Blue Spartan, bad idea. Not doing it. Given the advantage right there. PWE over Omzi, that's actually really close though, because Omzi's great. I give it to Disco for sure, even though 100 PR dog. I'm not betting against Disco. Pasca versus Shunsui. That's really close. I don't know if this match will go to the Shadow Realm or not, but I'm going to bet on Shunsui. I'm going to do it. I'm gonna give it to Shunsui. I'm gonna bet on Amzi, and I think the 5 comes down to Electabuzz over Force. So I do think it's close, but I'm gonna give it to NPH barely. But it's still, these are the 2 best teams in Hero that aren't Dad Legend.
All right. I definitely buy that, and I will say, I think there's a lot of really odd records and odd PR that you can't really take into account here as you normally would. Like Omzi at 2 and 3, we saw what Omzi was capable of last season. Fantastic player. 2 and 3 is not representative of the skill, and I would say the gap between Omzi and Agent PWE is not as large as that record indicates. Alien Santa is a hero specialist who has crushed me many a times, so I know how good of a player he is. And even though he's 1 and 4 versus Disco's 4 and 1, I would not count him out at all. Shunsui,
He beat Eddie, right?
At
one point,
so.
back when Eddie played, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty nuts. He's a 1 seed, man.
So you look at these, look at some of the players, the rough records for the individuals on ATL, and just know that when they get going, this team that's 3 and 2 right now, it could be unstoppable come playoff time. So, Lotus, what do you think about this matchup here?
I think this is going to be a good match. I'm still shocked that Pasca in the 4.
Well, it's not a 5 seed.
It's not a 5 seed, but still not where he should be.
Very true.
Yeah, I think NPH has been having an insane season. I think they're going to keep it up. That being said, ATL is also an amazing team. I think this is probably the match to watch this week.
I would agree. All right, Icon, last thoughts here with you.
This is definitely going to be a close match. Team NPH definitely has a lot of momentum right now, but ATL has some very skilled players in their team as well. I think that this is going to go 3-2 in favor of no pros here. And the 2 wins on the ATL side are going to be Blue Spartan, because, man, it is hard to argue against the 5-0, and Alien, because I think he was talking to me earlier, and I think that he's got the right mindset to bounce back from how he's doing right now. And then other than that, I think Pasca and Electabuzz take the 4 and 5, and Agent PWE takes the 2. So overall, definitely a close match, and really good match to get on stream as well.
Yeah, I'm glad we have as many matches as we do. This next one is our Pro Series match, and we don't yet have any matches on stream for this one. But again, you know where to find me. I'd like to get that last spot filled on Sunday. So Beard Boys versus Bad to the Bone, 2 of the consensus top 3 teams in Pro Series. So Beard Boys licking their wounds a little bit from their loss last week. Bad to the Bone, just kind of staying steady. They're 3 and 2, and they're creeping back up into the fight. Near the top of the standings. There's a lot of great matches here. Honest Abe versus Aviously, Myanodon versus Eggo Waffle, both are great players there in each of those matchups. Lesmos versus Pasca. Hey, Pasca again. Now he's in the 3 seed. Hockey Boys versus Manny Skill, and Boozosaurus versus A2 Battleship. There's just a lot of firepower here in this matchup. Lotus, what are you looking forward to most out of this game?
I mean, it has to be Zabe versus Avi, right?
I think so, right?
That's such a good match. Is that on stream?
Not yet.
Do
some convincing.
Well, if they want to go on stream, as long as it's not a time when I'm busy, I'm happy to cast it, because that's going to be a hot match.
Yeah, no hiding decks here too. Open list, so nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, let's get 2 Arlington qualifiers on stream. That's never a bad thing.
No, definitely not. Myanodon versus Eggo Waffle, also a great match. Lizimos versus Pascal, also a great match. I mean, all 5 matches are going to be insane. So this is also going to be a really strong one.
Definitely. Icon, what do you think about this?
I think Bad to the Bone actually upsets this. I think Bad to the Bone is still the 3rd best team in Pro. I think that they've been slept on a little bit because they've had a couple of rough weeks. But I would definitely think that if somebody can upset Beard Boys, it's them. I think that 2 particular matches to watch for is maybe the comeback of A2 Battleship and potentially Eggo Waffle upsetting Myanodon. I wouldn't call that an upset because they're both very, very good players, but definitely 2 really key matches about which the score could pivot on.
All right, Hat. Final thoughts for you.
Cat's like one of those news anchors where like there's a bit of delay for it to like get to him, and then he's like, "Thank you, news anchor. This is what's going on right here in this town."
I forgot to unmute myself, so that whole I was doing the talking thing, and then none of you heard it. So,
Nope.
Zave versus Avi, what you have all said is accurate. They were at the Masters Tour a week and a half ago, and they were both playing in it. I have no idea who to bet on. I no idea, absolutely no idea. It's going to be really great either way. Myanodon has been playing out of his mind, but Eggo Waffle is top 20 legend and got there by accident. So I don't really feel comfortable betting against that. I'm going to give the edge slightly to Eggo Waffle, but again, see it going either way. I do think Lesmos has the upper hand here against Pasca. Hockey Boys versus Manny Skull. I know Manny hasn't been quite as with it this season in terms of results, but historically a very strong player. But hockey is good. I do think A2 takes it this week over Boozy because Boozy, love Boozy, big fan, but I think that his heart hasn't quite been in Hearthstone lately. I know he had a really demoralizing week last week and has also been playing a lot of Runeterra and other games. So prep, it's Runeterra is fine.
I'm
It's
kidding.
just
Game, yeah.
yeah, it's fine. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But so a 3-2 record, nothing to be ashamed of here, but A2 is a super strong player. So I'm gonna lean towards bad to the bone in the 1, 2, and 5, just barely. I also want to point out if you abbreviated both teams and stuck them together, you would say TBBBTTB, and I think that's funny.
I love the little things that you pick up on that I just like. Why didn't I notice that, first of all? But then, like, who thinks of that type of stuff? Second of all,
You can just you take your finger and you put it in front of your mouth and you just go and that's the match. That's what it is.
that's entirely accurate. I've got nothing more to add than that. I mean, I don't really know where we could take it from there, to be honest with you. So I will just say that's all we got for tonight. That's everything. Thanks to everyone for joining us as always. If you have not done so and you'd like to, we do appreciate you subscribing to our Twitch channel. Of course, the one that you're watching right now, you can do it for free if you have Amazon Prime. You get a freebie on that every month. Thank you to the people who did resub tonight. I know we saw Kel in there and Fall earlier, so don't want to forget you guys for doing that. It does help us continue to produce even more content, more varied content, and of course help us with prize pools and whatnot for our various side events and whatnot. That I'm still in shock that you guys hid that secret from me. I don't.
And
even...
congratulations to all the Hall of Fame inductees,
Yes,
that
too,
including
yes.
but not limited to Donde.
Yeah, it's like I'm like almost embarrassed, I guess, a little bit.
Yes, how dare you work really hard for multiple seasons in a row?
Like I said, it doesn't feel like work because I enjoy doing it, so no problem. I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm happy to continue to be a part of it. Like I said, I wouldn't do it if it wasn't fun. So here's to many more years, I guess. I don't know, until Blizzard pulls the plug on Hearthstone, which who knows? Maybe after like 6 more versions of Reno. That's it. Thanks for joining us, Lotus. Thank you for being here. Hat, of course, a pleasure anytime. Icon, glad to have you back as well. We will be here again on Wednesday next week with you. Thursday, of course, Tavern Talk. That's tomorrow. Please do join them for all of your legacy needs. Friday, Saturday, Sunday are 3 streams. Again, we do need another match for Sunday, so holla at me if you want to be on stream. Until then, we'll see you later. Have a good week. Good luck in your matches. Thanks for watching.
Bye.